Tonight on IFAF,
Idaho Falls and feral.
as in barn cats.
That's so smart.
It's brilliantly diabolical and at the same time, kind of cute.
So here's something that I knew was a trend, but it seems like you didn't, which is the tiny red truck hauling a Christmas tree.
I don't even know if I'd open it. I think I would out of curiosity.
Sure.
But also, what if it's anthrax?
They are not a big enough property to need that many barn cats, and realistically, they should be spaying and neutering their pets.
IFAF, Idaho Falls Local, Independent, Alternative Media, with Mike Nelson and Karley Morgan.
IFAF 2025. Make a chemical come alive. IFAF 2025. Rock and roll come alive.
Wow, what an intro. Who needs a show after that? That was the show.
Yeah, right?
That was some quality rock and roll right there.
Yeah, it makes you want to slap on a little guy liner and go into a mosh pit or something, huh?
Yes, it does. Maybe tomorrow night.
Yeah, I like
New
it.
Year's Eve.
Heck yeah.
Good evening, ungovernables, outliers, and independent thinkers. Click like. Let the algorithm know that you're into Idaho Falls infotainment, opinion, bad jokes, dad jokes, and the occasional dick joke.
Occasional?
Sorry, Mom. After last episode's Nutcracker fiasco,
Yeah.
we cut a lot of that.
We, if that was the PG version, you don't want to see the PG-13.
It was. Okay. Coming up on tonight's episode, You Pick Red Barn. Mm-hmm. I feel like You Pick Red Barn might be the very first topic that people turn to us to and go, I wonder what Mike and Karley are going to say about that.
We've got a lot. So be prepared.
Also, skimmers and scammers and brushers. Oh my!
And all kinds of other fraud to look out for.
An annual favorite is back with the Ammon Icy Inferno 2.
Mm-hmm. Which is not only badass, but also very cozy.
Fire! I made it all the way to Christmas Day before Whamageddon.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
heard Wham's Last Christmas as we were driving to your family Christmas in Iona.
Right, correct. I'm pretty sure that I'd heard it a couple of times before then, but hadn't registered it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you were in the car with me and you heard it, you were like, it's Whamageddon. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess it is.
Like last minute, like down to the wire.
Yeah, you almost went an entire season without it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was Mr. Christmas for a minute because I programmed the Christmas music, not only for terrestrial radio stations, but for a few internet-based radio stations.
Uh-huh.
And so I can't believe I went most of the season without listening to Christmas music.
Yeah.
Except in stores.
Yeah, I actually kind of intentionally listened to Christmas music this last season because
Okay.
I was just trying to get into the spirit a little.
Yeah.
Because, without the snow on the ground, it didn't really feel like Christmas. So,
You make it feel like Christmas.
but yeah, so I guess maybe that's why I had heard it and you hadn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so. But Whamageddon, Bamageddon, thank you, Mamageddon. Damn it, last minute, almost made it. Hope you had a great Christmas and we're not done with the holidays. New Year's Eve in 2 days. Mm-hmm. Or, New Year's Eve tomorrow.
Right.
New Year's Day in 2 days.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Always
And-
exciting.
Are we going to do a live show tomorrow night?
We sure are. As a matter of fact, we're going to be doing one at 9 p.m., so make sure you join us. We're doing a little New Year's Eve pregame with you, so we can get ready with you.
Yes. How about that? Will we have Martinelli's sparkling cider? We might have to.
It's a regional favorite. We must.
Yeah.
If we don't, do we even live in Idaho?
When you don't have it for a while and you do, there's something about bubbly sugar juice
It's nice.
that's kind of nice.
Yeah. Yeah,
You do get a little bit of a buzz from it.
I think so.
A little bit loopy.
Yeah.
Say what's in this drink.
Right?
Yeah.
My grandpa, for some reason, was obsessed with Martinelli's, and he would buy it all the time. So when I was a kid, it didn't feel like a special occasion drink. It was just I'm at grandma's house drink.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Straight into the comments and follow-ups.
Yeah, let's do it.
The question was about the Christmas pickle. And maybe you've never heard of it because not everybody has.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those like, everybody knows Elf on the Shelf, but
Right.
it's like Elf on the Shelf was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like,
and
wait, what's this?
I've been to a Dollar Tree, so I've seen a Christmas pickle ornament in my day,
Okay.
but I didn't really know how that started.
I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
It's a bullshit thing.
Yeah, that doesn't
Made up
surprise
in
me.
the 1890s to sell more glass ornaments.
Sounds about right. But why pickles is the question, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The people who started it in the United States may have been German.
Okay.
But the rumor then started, oh yeah, this is an old tradition that came from Germany. There's
Okay.
nothing to support that anywhere. So it may have started from, you're right, German Americans, but the prevailing theory is that's about the time glass ornaments became hot.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
And, you find it and you're supposed to have, I believe the original base tradition is you're supposed to have a, prosperous new year.
Right.
But now it's like, get an extra present.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
gets to open the first present. Or gets an
You
extra.
get some special perk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of things in America, Valentine's Day, a made up bullshit thing to sell more of X.
Yep.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
S-
Here's how we do it though. Just to corrupt the entire market, we start using real pickles.
yeah.
Throw them a curveball. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, if you put it out Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and even better, you can't look for it. You have to be blindfolded and you have to sniff it out like a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or feel around for it.
Even better.
Put your
Little bit of
hand in a
both.
bunch of pine needles until you feel something
Yeah.
soft and long.
There we go.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be quite the pickle.
Oh, God. I would say let's not start that again, but we're going to double down because one particular Christmas event at Karley's family Christmas party is the white elephant gift.
Uh-huh.
And now we've been just pickle-tastic lately.
Yes, we have, as a matter of fact.
My gift to you in the IFAF gift exchange was some pickle salt.
Which is amazing. By the way, here's
You liking
something
that?
funny. Oh, I love it. It's so good. Here's also something funny. So, a good friend of mine was telling me about how much he loves the pizzle from Lucy's that we turned him on to. And he was like, oh yeah, and not only that, I've actually gotten my entire office to love it. And so he's been bringing him in, and I was like, oh, well, when's the next time you're going to have the pizzle in your office? Because you know what you should do? You should take some of my pickle salt and put it on a pizzle pizza, because doesn't that sound pickle-rific?
That sounds pickle-rickic.
Yeah, I know,
I
right? And on top of that, too, in case you haven't heard, apparently Pie Hole now has a pickle pizza.
Called the Pickle Teen.
Uh-huh.
Just Drea, our friend Drea from the other IFAF, the
Right,
Idaho
thank you,
Falls
Drea.
Advertising Federation, tagged me on on Insta tonight.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Lucy's Pizza has the pizzle.
Uh-huh.
Pie Hole now has a pickle pizza called the Pickle Teen.
Yeah, which I'm so excited for. I mean, unless
Pickle-tine?
it's pickle time, yeah, right. But I was thinking we could have a piece during our New Year's episode, because realistically, that's where all of the people going out to celebrate are going to end up.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's
yeah.
launch.
Well, and especially if we get it early in the night before all the drunkies get there, we should be good.
Yeah, if we do our show at 9, we'll pick it up in between, 6 and 9.
Yeah, I love it.
We'll try the new Pickle Teen. We'll find out how to pronounce it.
Right.
And then we'll try it tomorrow night for New Year's Eve for our live show.
And we'll try it with the pickle salt, too.
Quick plug for our last live show that we did on Christmas Eve. And sometimes we tell you about them, like now. We're telling you about New Year's Eve. Sometimes we just spring them on you. But it was great. It was a great time, wasn't it?
It was super fun.
We drank Reed's Dairy eggnog.
Uh-huh.
And then put them.
Puts all other eggnog to shame.
It really does.
It really does.
Really nice job this year, Reed's Dairy. So we're having a very pickle-tastic Christmas.
Yes.
One of the gag gifts was this.
It's a squish pickle.
After wiggling Rango's piggy toy, which I'm staring right at right now, by the way.
Right.
It wasn't just during the Nutcracker episode.
Yeah. Here, I'll wiggle this one too.
I was going to say, do we dare open it?
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd like to. Also, I think it's on a pickleball racket.
Okay.
Is that what the packaging is supposed to be?
I don't know.
I
mean,
don't
yes,
know. I'm not very athletic, so I couldn't tell you.
the Squish Pickle is playing some sort of game that involves rackets. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's pickleball.
I've got a question about the Squish Pickle.
Yeah?
Does it go in a squish mitten?
I believe it does, as a matter of fact.
A she shed?
Yeah, one of those. It certainly, I think, could go anywhere something squishy might.
Yeah. Okay.
We are the worst.
Hey, hang on. We're not the worst. Because we left like 3 Nutcracker jokes on the table last episode.
That's true. There were a couple that I was kind of mad that we missed too.
Yeah.
What was the really good one?
Well, we should have said that the Nutcracker was smuggling
Sugar plums.
sugar plums.
Right. That's a good one.
I wanted to go up to him after and say, look, I used to think you were crazy, and now I can clearly see your nuts.
Also a good one.
Then we were wondering about the origin of the cod piece.
Yes.
And well, a cod is a fish, and I suppose the cod piece covers up something else
that flops around like a fish.
Yeah.
Right. You know what? I think that's exactly why it was named that. I mean, why else? I can't tell if this has a hole in it or if it's just, I think it's just discoloration, thankfully.
Okay.
But this is, in fact, very squishy, and it is now no longer pickle shaped.
Yeah, you can squish it into a different shape.
Yeah, it's one of those like sand filled ones. Here, you want a little. Here, I'll get it back to the pickle shape for you, and then I'll let you have a little try, okay?
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, enjoy.
I'm Pickle Squish. Of course, my first
And you can
impulse
make
is
it really nice and long.
Yeah, make it bigger.
Yeah.
Does that make me a fluffer?
I think it does, technically.
Well, didn't take us too long this episode, did it?
I don't know if I liked how that felt in my hands.
That's what
Left
she
my
said.
hands feeling dirty.
That's what she said.
Yeah, it's now it's long and flat. Now it's just
Yeah.
pathetic. Now it's just
Womp womp. Aw.
that's the squish pickle. But it is kind of it's kind of a nice hand workout.
It is, you know, especially if you gave it like a little shake weight treatment.
It's like a stress ball, only like you
Yeah.
could even squeeze it with both hands.
You could.
Yeah.
Could. Yeah, I can't really think of another body part that you could squeeze it with quite as effectively.
Not with both hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. During our live show, I brought up an old expression that I think everybody's heard.
Right?
You can't con a con man,
Right.
which basically means you can't bullshit a bullshitter. The story I told about my boss, I wanted to flesh that out a little bit more
Yeah?
because I, listening back to the episode, I sort of recalled it. And I just thought it was a funny story because
And you feel like spilling the tea?
well, and this was happening internally, and he was trying to tell me that a promotion that was bad for the station, bad for the listeners, but good for the client.
Right.
You got to understand in radio, and I'll get all the radio talk out in the next 5 minutes, I promise.
Okay.
In radio, you sort of serve two masters. You serve the listeners and you serve the clients.
Right.
You know, the people that advertise. I mean, that's what we'll do on our show, right? We'll attract an audience,
I mean, that's
And then
the hope, I guess.
sell access to that audience to people with money who, want to spot. That's just how it works.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I think the difference is that we've got a little integrity and it'll be people that we believe in and actually want to work with.
Right, exactly.
You know? You won't see no goddamn Lumi ads on here unless they give us a lot of money. If they give us a lot of money, then I got to get that back. I'm sorry.
So anyway, I just recalled the conversation when I said, look, don't bullshit me. You can't con a con man. Let's talk about this, on an internal level. Don't try to sell me on this concept that we both know is bad.
Right.
And when I said you can't con a con man, he got instantly red in the face and said, I'm not a con man. I have all the integrity in the world. And I realized, A, you've never heard a very popular expression.
Right.
And B, you don't get how analogies work.
Right.
Because in this analogy, I was the con man.
Right.
And so I just sort of realized, oh man,
Well, and also taking things way too personally, dude.
well, right. Well, and how do you reason with somebody who cannot be reasoned with?
Right.
I realized, I don't have the time or the crayons to explain it to this guy.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just thought that was a funny moment. He also,
Yeah.
he had this weird thing, correct me if I'm wrong, but blowing your nose is a bodily function, yes?
Sure.
He had this weird thing where he would face you and literally honk his nose into a tissue, like aggressively right at you. It was the weirdest thing. Now, I have a weird thing about blowing noses.
Yeah, you're very private about that.
Oh, I excuse myself. I go to the bathroom. It's a
Yeah.
bodily function.
I get that.
I just don't get the people who can honk their nose on a bus.
Right. I mean, I can blow my nose in public more or less. I
Yeah.
certainly don't like to. And I definitely remember being a kid and having to like go to the back of the classroom to get a tissue to blow your nose. And like, it was so embarrassing and it was quiet and it was weird. And I like, give me the skeeve.
Well, and what if you blow a snot rocket and you miss?
Well, I mean, I would hope that
Yeah.
you know what you're doing with that tissue, but
Yeah.
sure.
Or, okay.
Or you blow through the tissue.
Or yeah, right.
That is
Or
the
if
thing
you
that
pull the
happens.
tissue out and it's full of, no one wants to see that.
That's true. That's
just
true.
bizarre.
Yeah.
Okay, while we're still on this subject of radio, we also brought up the great rant that Jeff and Greg had about married radio team shows was, their content just seems forced.
Okay.
And we didn't have time to dive into it last episode.
Uh-huh.
But I want to say, yeah, it does. And the reason why is, think about what a married couple does. They get up, they go to work. One of them goes and picks the kids up from school.
Right.
They think about what's for dinner. They do the homework. They put the kids to bed. They go to bed.
Sure.
Especially like if you're a morning show, you're up at 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So you're not really living a lifestyle that's compelling or relatable.
Sure.
So you're making shit up. And what I mean by that is, I didn't listen after I got out of radio. I didn't listen to the radio for 2 years.
Sounds about right.
And the first time I tuned in, it's National Donut Day. And I just turned it off again. Like if you have to read, there's prep sheets in radio. And if you have to read what's on those, if you ever hear a morning show or any show do, it's blank day or this day in history, that it's a waste of your time.
Sure. I get that.
And that's why I get a kick out of, and then I'm done.
Sure.
I'm done with this rant. That's why I get a kick out of radio stations doing podcasting.
Yeah.
Because they're taking the lame stuff that they started with and recycling it on a medium where you can be so creative and inventive.
Right.
Like we might be called by my best friend. All right.
No, I completely agree. Are you done now? Rant over?
Think so. Yes. Rant over.
Okay. Well, since it did just pass, why don't we touch on one more Christmas thing?
Yes.
Sound good? So here's something that I knew was a trend, but it seems like you didn't, which is the tiny red truck hauling a Christmas tree.
It's a thing.
Yeah. So I went to get some wassail at my grandma's house because my granny is the best and makes wassail every year. And I put it in a cute little Christmas mug that had a little red truck hauling a tree on it. And we were just sipping away, and my brother's like, "Oh, that's hilarious. I saw a TikTok of like with that same mug in it." And he showed it to us. And you had never seen this trend of this piece of holiday decor, which is a tiny red truck hauling a tree.
I thought, there's a guy on TikTok who realized that all his mom buys him is Christmas items with a tiny red truck hauling a tree.
Or is it a red truck hauling a tiny Christmas tree? Something's tiny and the truck is red.
Yeah, the guy's got like a doormat.
Right. A table runner, a mug. Literally
mugs.
the same mug I was drinking out of, which I thought was funny.
So, I mean, you had heard of the Christmas pickle, right? Or no?
Yeah, I'd heard of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just kind of funny to me now that we're getting into these traditions
Right.
that not everybody knows about. But
Well,
no.
and I think that one's a newer one, to be fair.
Okay.
The other thing that I realized about it is that it is kind of the most masculine Christmas decoration.
Right.
Because it's a truck and guys
Yeah.
like trucks and hauling stuff around. That's why you have a truck.
And it's red.
Sometimes you're just hauling around your teeny peen, but that's when you get a really big truck is when you need to haul around the tiniest little wiener.
Can we put an end to those big, huge white trucks that are 12 feet tall?
Right, with like all kinds of chrome accessories and like it's lifted so that you can roll it easier because you're stupid.
With those laser headlights?
Right.
Unbelievable.
It's fine. I have lots of opinions about that. Anyway, I think the second most masculine Christmas decoration or like Christmas motif would be the plaid reindeer.
Oh.
That's another big one that I've seen
Yeah.
a few times.
I think I've seen that a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so I can see why his mom chose that for him.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a boy. It's Christmas.
Right.
How about a red truck hauling a tree?
Yeah. I think the third most masculine would be snowmen because they're men.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen some snow women in my time.
Couple here and there.
You just need a couple of big snowballs.
Yeah. That's it.
And you've made your point.
Yeah.
Okay. Since we're on Christmas, again, one more Christmas thing.
Sure.
It was a meme that I saw that was just hilarious because I love smartasses on the internet.
Yes, you do.
It was this very beautiful painting or rendering of the baby Jesus in the manger in a barn, and Joseph standing over Mary, who was kind of doing the outstretched arms. Mm-hmm. Maybe she had a halo on her head.
Right.
Well,
where she's like, I made this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Behold your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Well, we can all agree that Jesus Christ was a man, right?
Sure.
So what I'm about to say is a joke. It's not blasphemy. Some smartass on the internet put a speech bubble next to Joseph that said, oh, look, his first poop. And then a speech, because,
right.
Humans do that.
Yeah.
That probably happened.
Yeah.
Baby Jesus probably had his first poop.
Of course. And it was probably like that weird black tarry newborn poop.
Oh, yeah. What do they call that?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's gross. I've heard. I've never had to experience it, thankfully.
There's a word for it.
Yeah.
And then they also put a speech bubble next to Mary that said, holy shit. Also from the internet. Have you ever seen the photo of the old-timey medication?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And there's a few of them. But this one I've seen a few times because of its ingredients.
Oh, okay.
They're hilarious.
Oh, yeah?
It's like one night cough syrup.
Uh-huh.
And it's got 4 ingredients. The first one is alcohol.
That sounds right.
The second one is cannabis indica.
Okay, so the good shit.
Yeah, right. When it comes to weed,
But and the good stuff to help you sleep.
Right, exactly. Yeah, sativa is like
yeah, that's like
it
the
amps
fun
you up.
creative one.
You
Yeah.
can be awake. Yeah, indica
Melts you into the couch.
that's the rolling down the street, smoking Indo, sipping on gin. Yeah, that's the
right.
get couch
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So it's got that, and then chloroform,
Oh, really?
which famously, knocks you out.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Here, does this smell like chloroform to you? and then finally, morphine.
Wow. Man, and they were probably like giving that to straight up children, like
Yeah.
little tiny babies.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised they didn't overdose.
Right.
I mean, that's a pretty heavy concoction of ingredients there.
That's Mama said knock you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little Timmy, take your nighttime juice.
But I bet. Or mommy takes it.
Yeah, right?
And little Timmy's on his own for the next 36 hours.
Oh, little Timmy.
Yeah, they just used to sell that stuff.
Man, just like when they used to put real Coke in Coca-Cola.
Right. And I guess they still put cocoa leaf extract in there, but there's no cocaine.
Well, and honestly, with all of that in there, I bet your cough only would last one night.
Yeah. You might only last one night.
Yeah, there you go. Honestly, if they threw a little cocaine in there too, there's you are waking up just chipper the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen the ad for Apple Intelligence?
No, not yet.
Okay. Oh, well, maybe I do because I have an iPhone.
Yeah. I think that my ad services know that I'm definitely not an Apple person.
Yeah.
But that being said, I do keep getting this one ad that's driving me freaking nuts, and I have blocked it every single time it pops up, and somehow I keep getting the same ad.
What is it?
And it's the Daily Wire.
Oh,
and I don't know,
your favorite.
I have never consumed any of their media. I don't interact with them. I don't know how they think I want their product. I clearly don't. And every time I see it, I block the ad because I don't want to see it. And yet I keep seeing the exact same ad over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's making me so mad at this point.
Ben Shapiro. Who's the What Is a Woman guy, and now he has an Am I a
Matt
Racist?
Walsh.
Matt Walsh.
Yeah.
Candace Owen.
Mm-hmm.
There's one more that I can't think of.
That one guy, the real, he's got the really,
that one guy.
No, he's got like the really high voice, and he talks about cleaning his room.
Jordan B. Peterson?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not quite Alex Jones, but yeah.
Right.
By the way, I haven't seen anything that The Onion has done with InfoWars since they bought it
Oh, really?
at auction.
Hilarious, by the way.
But I hear they're doing a few good things, which is just
That's fun.
It makes me giddy because that dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he realized that hyperbole equaled ratings,
Right.
and just took it way over the top. I mean, to literally a criminal extent.
Right. And like
know?
to the point where victims were being re-victimized, and it was just horrible and
Right.
bad. Like,
right. He deserves
Yeah.
everything he got.
yeah, I agree.
But back to this Apple Intelligence ad.
Yeah.
So this is our future, America. It shows a gal who's reading her email, and the narration sort of tells you the story that she just received like a 2,000-word email from her boss, and the announcer says something like, "Thank goodness for Apple Intelligence," because she clicks summary, and it takes it down to like a paragraph.
Okay.
And I thought, wouldn't it suck to be a boss and write this, manifesto of all these important things that you want people to do? I think that's going to be the new left on red.
Right.
I'm going to use Apple AI to summarize your text because ain't nobody got time for that.
Well, and also, as someone who's managed people before, I happen to know that there are lots of times when you've got to be excruciating in your detail if you want it done right.
Exactly.
So when things get summarized, especially by an AI that doesn't necessarily know, that the devil's in the details, then yeah, I mean, you're completely voiding all of the work that's been done there to make sure that you're doing it right. Now, if you go off and you do it wrong, all of that work that I put in at the beginning to try to prevent that means nothing.
I think this is happening faster than we think it is. And what I
Right.
mean is the AI revolution.
Oh, I agree.
So it started out with predictive text, right? Everybody was cool with that. Oh, yeah, that's the word I meant.
Sure.
Maybe it started out with autocorrect.
Yeah.
Is this the word I meant? And then
Right.
pretty sure you're going to mean this word. And then I know that I was replying to a YouTube comment today, I think, and it had a couple suggested ones, and I was like, oh, that's
Right.
exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You know how in Gmail,
Yes. Yeah. It'll be like, great, thanks.
they're
Yeah.
got it, thank you.
Yeah.
They're predictive replies. And now what we're seeing is summarizing the other party. So we've got it going on both ends now. Here's your reply. Oh, here's what it's almost like we've got a personal secretary
Right.
until they become our evil overlords.
I agree. Well, and what a bunch of crap it is that, like, here we are finally getting all of these, like, cool technologies that, like, 80s movies had, said we're going to make our lives so much easier and stuff. And yet, instead of taking all of their really boring jobs, like accounting, and stuff like that realistically, I don't think anyone wants to do.
Right.
They're taking all of the creative jobs that, like, actually solidify our humanity and stuff.
Yeah, we've been doing AI songs for a few episodes now.
Right.
If you haven't caught the two great Christmas ones at the end of episode 72 by our friend Hey It's Brad, go check that out.
Yeah.
We started this episode with one. I typed in, IFAF 2025, Mike and Karley come alive or something like that.
Right.
Or rock and roll come alive. And it just gave me this sort of
Yeah.
believable rock song
Yeah.
in 30 seconds. But you're right. Yeah, it's taking and you've seen us use a ton of AI artwork
Oh, sure.
on this show. So it is like it literally is. I've got a couple of graphic designer friends that I don't know, because I'm being frivolous with my artwork. If I want
Sure.
something serious, I'll still go to them
Right.
at this point. But at what point will I go, well, it did it just fine. So yeah.
I mean, I hate to admit it. I don't know. It sucks.
Fascinating, scary, cool.
I don't know. It sucks to see all of the, like, the fun things that make being a human worth it being taken from us by robots.
Right.
Wamp wamp. What a bummer.
Who would you rather rely on for your Idaho Falls fiber internet service? An out-of-state company or the one local choice, QuickNet?
Right now, get QuickNet's Crazy Fast 250 service for $37 a month, or their Crazy Fast Gig service for $49 a month.
Unlimited data, no setup fee, no term contract, net neutrality, and hometown-friendly support. For Idaho Falls Fiber, choose QuickNet. New customers use code IFAF to save 15% on your first 3 months.
Ladies, go thrifting for your winter wardrobe at Elsie's Closet. Upscale resale women's fashion. Right now, save on sweaters, boots, and jackets. Festive socks, jewelry, pins, and bags. Now carrying Bumble and Bleat soapery.
Look for the pink sign downtown on A Street. New customers use promo code IFAF to save 15% on your first purchase. Elsie's Closet. It's not just a stop at the thrift, it's a whole vibe. Do you want locally raised beef to feed your family through the winter? Right now, Virgin River Land and Cattle Company is offering 25-pound butcher boxes with steaks, roasts, and ground beef.
You can have your very own farm-to-table experience. Find Virgin River Land and Cattle Company on Facebook. New customers use promo code IFAF to save 15% on your first purchase. Proud to donate $500 to the Snake River Animal Shelter for every Spud Kings home game hat trick.
We're dedicated to having fun here on IFAF, just like we're dedicated to serving you when it's time to sell your home. Mike helps Idaho, and when it's time to make your move, we can help you too.
We know Idaho Falls, and we know the current real estate market. We'll guide you through the biggest financial transaction of your life with ease and confidence. And we're backed and brokered by Keller Williams Realty East Idaho.
We're just as dedicated to real estate as we are to this silly little podcast we do. Make your move with Mike Helps Idaho. Link in post.
You know who deserves a treat? You do. You deserve Thor's chocolate. The best artisan chocolate in East Idaho, beyond anything you've tasted before, with bold, smooth, delicious flavors. Dark milk and white chocolates, with a few keto-friendly options as well.
Made from bean to the bar in Idaho Falls, thorschocolate.com. New customers use promo code IFAF to save 25% on your first purchase. Thor's Chocolate. Fit for the gods.
Do you love Idaho Falls as much as we do? Prove it with a unique homegrown hometown tee from Teton T-shirts.
Including these cool vintage versions of the Civic Auditorium, the West Bank, and the Water Tower, our famous potato sack design, and the classic I Heart IFT.
Check out Teton T-shirts. These exclusive designs are not available in gift shops. TetonT-shirts.com. Link in post. Wear a real piece of Idaho Falls.
IFAF 2025. Rock and roll, come alive.
Rock Forks, yeah.
Yeah.
Tongue,
Yeah, black T-shirts, studded bracelets, other
Rock and roll
stuff.
Rock and or roll.
Yes.
As best we can. Okay, saw a bunch of things over the holidays about basically just frauds and scams.
Yeah, which it always happens around Christmas time, which, first of all, kind of a bad idea if you're a scammer, because that's when people have the least amount of money.
Right.
You know, sure, it's when they're spending the most, but like, I know that when Christmas was over, I had like nothing left.
Right.
You know?
Even not frauds and scams, people are high pressure. Remember, you were in your car at Sam's Club trying to get gas.
Right. I was on the phone, so I hadn't even gotten out of the car yet.
We were working on a real estate thing.
Right.
And a guy knocks on your window to see if you want to apply for a credit card.
Yeah, apply for a Sam's Club credit card. And I get that he was an employee just doing his job.
Yeah.
But it's also like, dude, come on. You see that I'm in the car. You see that I'm talking. At least wait for me to get out.
Right.
You know, don't come walking up to me. Yeah.
This isn't a door. This isn't my home. You're not a door-to-door solicitor.
Right.
I'm on the phone in my car and still in my private bubble. Don't be knocking like a bum in an intersection selling oranges in LA.
Yeah, right.
Or a guy with Windex and a squeegee at an intersection on the south side of Chicago.
I mean, are they really bums if they're at least trying to work for it? You know? I mean, that's a little bit of ambition right there.
Okay, I guess. You've got a point. But, okay, so the IFPD said, yep, we found a couple of skimmers. One at the Winco, where I always go.
Oh, crap.
I'm a big fan. I have an I Love Winco t-shirt.
Which I'm kind of surprised, because how do you put one of those on without the employees noticing?
Right. In fact, last time I was, which was a week or so ago, last time I was at Winco in the self-checkout lane, I think I made and this was before this happened, I made a skimmer joke to the, overseer of the
Right.
self-checkout.
Oh my gosh, they probably think it was you. You're probably like suspect numero uno now.
I wouldn't know the first thing about that. But she's like, no, we check every half hour.
What?
I'm like, really? You do?
Wow.
Because, how could you install one of those things inside a store where there's security footage, especially at the self-checkout?
Right. Well, and Winco, I think, is one of the best ones about security.
Yeah.
They're always watching out.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised. I wonder how long it was on there before it got taken off, too.
I wonder.
I guess what we can be grateful for is the fact that they did find it.
I wonder if we're going to have to increase credit card security again,
Right.
First, it was the PIN. Everybody had their PIN. Then it was the chip.
Right.
And are we going to have retina scans next?
Something.
Whatever invasion of privacy device it is, I'm sure we'll gladly accept it as Americans in the interest of security.
Right. I don't know. It just sucks that people are so willing to take advantage of others like that, you know?
I guess there's brushing scams too. Have you heard about these?
Yeah, that's the one where they send you something, right?
Right.
Yeah. And then they have a QR code so you can find out who sent it. And then they take all of your information off of your phone.
Right.
Which is terrifying, by the way. And a really good argument for why we should have burners. Some phone that has no information on it.
Yeah.
That you can use for like if there's ever anything fishy, you can go through it that way instead.
That's something. That's an idea.
Yeah, right?
Have a dummy phone just for scanning QR codes.
Yeah, just to make sure that it's all legit and valid so you don't accidentally screw yourself over,
Is don't scan strange QR codes the new don't talk to strangers?
You know what? It might be. Which now I'm really regretting the IFAF stickers that we made with the QR code on.
We got a whole stack of them.
Yeah. Crap.
Yeah, if you get a package and it's got a QR code and you don't recognize it, I don't even know if I'd open it. I think I would out of curiosity.
Sure.
But also, what if it's anthrax?
Right.
Something,
I guess I like to think that I'm not a big enough target for that.
Right.
Well, and also there are so many times that I go online and buy stuff and then forget that I bought it. So, there'd be so I would
Same.
absolutely open that, not even thinking about it. Like, I must have ordered myself a little something. This is exciting.
What's the meme? Be your own secret Santa with alcohol and Ambien.
Right, exactly.
Or just forgetfulness. When I see, an Amazon package has been delivered, I'm like, I wonder what that is.
Right. Well, and there are lots of times when I'll order 2 or 3 versions of the same thing so that I can try them out, decide which one I like, and then send the rest back.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't always remember how many I bought of that thing. So, yeah, I would totally end up opening it without thinking. Now, similarly, though, I've heard of another scam that also just sends you free shit, but instead of sending you also a QR code to steal your information, they do it so that they can rate themselves.
Oh,
Yeah.
as a seller?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
This product was bought by someone and they said that it was great.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which I would sign up to be part of that scam.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, use my name to post reviews and
Sure.
give me free shit. Okay.
As long as it's gadgets.
Right, or something fun.
Then there's other people on Facebook putting other people on blast. I guess there was a guy who ordered an engraved cutting board, and when the person took his money but didn't get it done in time, it looked like he gave her 6 weeks notice.
Oh, wow.
But she didn't get it done in time for Christmas. So he put her on blast, and then she responded. She showed up to respond in the comments and say,
really?
I'm right here, dude. I refunded your money. But then other people...
But when did she refund his money?
Exactly.
Yeah.
To me, it didn't look like she got it done in time.
Sure. Well, and that's the thing. That happens, especially around Christmas time. It's hard to manage your time as well as you'd hope to, I could totally see her thinking that she has the time to do it and then not getting it done. But did she refund his money when he first asked for it?
Right.
Or was it not until he put her on blast?
Exactly. And then somebody, I think, went and picked up Community Food Basket who does a fine job. We're so glad you're in our town. Mm-hmm. So grateful to have you.
Right.
And I know a lot of people are thankful for you.
Well, and such a helpful resource for the community, especially right now where inflation is crazy and food insecurity is rampant.
They were handing out food boxes for the holidays.
Right.
And I guess somebody came up, picked up one for them and one for another family that they were taking it to, finger quotes.
Right.
And they ended up, I believe the story is, they ended up taking like the good stuff.
The gift cards.
The gift cards out of there. And maybe one other thing. And then reposting the food boxes as they were after the things had been taken out of them on Facebook.
Right.
And just
Not selling them, though, just giving them away.
Just giving them away.
Okay.
And people putting that poster on blast for doing that after taking the stuff. Mm-hmm. But then the community food basket addressed it and said, hey, take the heat off. We've talked to this person personally. We understand why they couldn't use the food in the food baskets.
Right.
They thought they could and now they can't or something.
Right, right. Like, wasn't it an allergy or something?
So last episode, we just talked about how salty the Facebook groups are.
Right.
That certainly hasn't changed in the last week. So I would just
agree.
say, I mean,
family's still in town, so.
maybe right. Maybe before jumping in, make sure you completely understand the situation. Mm-hmm. But I do want to shout out Community Food Basket. You are IFAF this week. Mm-hmm. Crisp High Five, 21 Finger Gun
Pew,
Salute,
pew.
and Chef's Kiss.
To you for all of the fine work that you do.
Yeah, and those gift boxes during the holidays when people need them the most.
Right.
Awesome. So this may not be a scam, but I'm convinced it's a fraud.
Okay.
And I'd like you to pay close attention if you follow the Facebook group, I Grew Up in Idaho.
Okay.
Why, Mike? Well, I've been following them for a while because, I like to follow the Facebook groups, right?
Yeah. Now, when you first told me about this, I thought you were talking about you grew up in Idaho Falls.
Not that one. That
Not
one's
that one.
legit, and I love that
And
one.
really good.
And I think I have since 2016.
Yeah.
This one is called I Grew Up in Idaho. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me tell you why. I kept seeing a lady,
Right.
Wendy Brackett, posting the same photo, the same template photo of a woman holding a quilt. Mm-hmm. But every time she posted it, it was a different quilt.
Right.
So it's obviously one of those quilt websites or
Yeah.
t-shirt websites where you just plug in your artwork and it shows a pre-made model
right.
holding your product or wearing your product.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or some Photoshop or something.
And the story started out a few months ago. My autistic son made this. Mm-hmm. And you can always tell when somebody's pressuring a little too hard when they comment on their own post saying, it looks nice.
Right.
And then, here, I'm glad you asked. Here's a link to the website.
Yeah.
Before anybody else comments.
Yeah.
So apparently the admin of I Grew Up in Idaho is one Wendy Brackett. But when you go to Wendy Brackett's profile, it says Wendy Brackett has locked his profile.
Right.
And then you start looking at the moderators of the group when they post, because they do post stuff like Idaho relevant stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's all stuff that could be easily copied and pasted from another Idaho group. Like, here's this peak. Here's this river.
Yeah.
Here's a shot of this town. Mm-hmm. Really generic stuff. Mm-hmm. And then they have like really weird names.
Right. Well, and their pictures are also super generic too.
Yes. In fact, if you go to one picture, this is Sabrina Lopez, which isn't a weird name.
No,
check
not
out the
too bad.
profile picture. I've got a video running here of me sort of vetting her and then taking her profile picture, saving it to my phone, throwing it to the Google app, doing a search. And there it is on at least 3 other websites.
Sure.
Including probably the real account from Twitter where they got it.
Right.
And you might be thinking, Mikey, you're paranoid, but I'm driving toward a point. And you're gonna love it.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, we all know that this stuff happens. Like, there are all kinds of weird fake Facebook pages like this.
Well, and I know people wonder, hey, my friend got hacked. They lost their Facebook account. What becomes of that account?
Right.
I think this is what becomes of this account. It was created last September.
Uh-huh.
It's being mostly fed by the admin and a couple of moderators. And you can tell because it has their title
Right.
next to their name when
Yeah.
they post. And so I've been watching it for a while now thinking this is sus. This is fraud at least, and maybe a scam at most.
Yeah.
How do you know, Mikey? Well, let me just make my point then. Here you can see that the group was created September of 2023 as I Grew Up in Alabama. Uh-huh. Then
Did it have a lot of pictures of cousins kissing?
Yeah, right. And then it was changed in October of 2023 to Beach History and Traditions.
Okay.
Then to California Beach History. Then to I Grew Up in Alabama again. Then finally to I Grew Up in Idaho in December of 2023.
I mean, I'm a little offended that we've been looped in with Alabama and California.
Well, and I almost wonder, we don't know, are these people from China, India?
Yeah.
Who's the dumbest in America? Well, let's start with Alabama.
Right.
Oh, they weren't dumb enough. Let's go to Idaho. That's why I'm so offended by this, Carl.
Right.
I am so offended that I grew up in Idaho. I mean, because what a generic thought.
Yeah.
How many people can say that? A lot. Even people. We just hit a population of 2 million something, which I sort of alluded to a couple months ago. But the official numbers, census numbers came out.
Crazy to think.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
We were 1 million in 2000. I don't even know if we were 1 million in 2000.
No, yeah.
So anyway, if you're a member of this group, I highly recommend that you report them and then leave like I did.
Right. Yeah, it does definitely make you wonder what's the end of this? Like, what is this for?
I think the end game is to build an audience, and they've done a great job. 33,000 likes or followers in a year.
But build it for what? Like to sell it to some other company then?
Build it to sell it, or build it to ultimately scam the participants in it.
Right. That's what I have to assume.
Yeah. And if you think about it, let's say this is one guy, and they're doing it, I don't know, for 10 out of 50 states. That might be a good living.
Yeah, maybe.
If enough people buy their autistic son's quilt.
Right. Which, by the way, the quilt had clearly AI generated words on it that didn't look real at all.
That's the thing about a month ago that made me go, wait a minute.
Right.
Because we've talked on this show before, there's only a couple, 3 good AI image engines.
Right.
And
even those struggle with fingers and hands and words and stuff like that.
Right, but this had the great seal of the state of Idaho, and the words were all messed up.
Right.
Maybe it is someone's autistic son using AI to design the image.
Yeah.
But there's way too much else, including what I just showed you, how the group originated, what it was originally called, for this not to be a fraud of some kind.
Yeah.
I'm confident in that.
I would agree.
Okay, so that's the black and white. Let's do the gray area now.
Ooh, okay, yes.
You know where I'm heading?
I sure do. And I'm actually kind of not excited to talk about this, but because I like, that gray area and I like sort of delving into things and tearing them apart, I'm looking forward to talking about this.
I'm nervous about it because I don't want to piss anybody off or step on any toes.
Same.
But you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. So here we go about You Pick Red Barn.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm just going to say too, it's not that we're choosing sides. We're not being malicious.
I feel
we
like
came to a conclusion based on the evidence that we saw.
Yeah. Right. Because what we're going to do is we're going to gauge our understanding of the story and our impression of community comments.
Right.
And I'll just do the story how I saw it unfold for me. And there's going to be a lot of stops in here. Okay. The first image I saw was a really great image of You Pick Red Barn, which we visited earlier this year.
Yeah. I think we kind of promoted them even and said, hey, if you need pumpkins, here's a nice local spot to go.
We talked about what a great time we had.
Right.
So a great picture of You Pick Red Barn, and the caption was, Save You Pick Red Barn. We're going to stop there. Let's talk about things in Idaho Falls that need saving.
Sure.
On one end of the spectrum is Reed's Dairy, a true Idaho Falls institution, when they have something tragic happen to them like a fire.
Right.
That's on one extreme end of the spectrum.
Well, and that one's so easy to say, yeah, let's gung-ho get behind this.
So easy. So clear.
Yeah, they are a member of our community.
Amen, sister. On the other end of the spectrum is Ross Dress for Less.
Right. Some big corporation that doesn't treat their employees who are citizens here well,
and I hope we've beaten that horse.
I know. And don't get me wrong, I still dabble a little in some Ross Dress for Less.
So let's agree that You Pick Red Barn is somewhere there in the middle.
Sure.
For starters. Now let's continue. You Pick Red Barn posted, "We were forced to be annexed by the city of Idaho Falls." Let's stop. Cities annex. That's what they do.
Yes.
That's how they grow.
Yeah.
That's how they get bigger. That's how we get bigger as a city.
Yep.
That's how we go from a city the size of Rigby to the city the size of Boise. You annex some stuff. It happens.
Right.
And of course you're forced to. That's civics. And then zoning restrictions were placed on us. Stop again. Zoning is a thing so that I don't buy a house in a residential neighborhood and they put a pig farm and a motorcycle track right next door.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, the two main zones are residential and commercial.
Yes. Yeah, we learned all about this in real estate school.
Right.
Not only that, too, but a lot of the time you can be grandfathered in if you were there before.
So, right.
It was moved,
Well,
you know?
and they were.
Right.
So when they were annexed and rezoned, they were given a special use permit. So they could still operate.
Yeah.
But then they decide to put a pizza kitchen as part of their attraction.
Right.
And by their own admission, they applied for the food license or the vendor's license, whatever it is, to be able to operate this pizza kitchen at You Pick Red Barn. They applied for it. They never got it. So you would think that they didn't do it.
Right. Because why would you do that anyway?
Stop again. They did.
Right.
They did do it.
Which means they actively chose to break the rules.
And they say, and then it kind of gets into he said, she said territory a little bit. They say, well, there were 6 things requirements we had to meet. And then they kept moving, the city of Idaho Falls kept moving the bar.
Well, and also at that point, if you can't get the permit for your little pizza shop, get one of the many delicious, delightful food trucks here to park outside of your location and have a nice little, symbiotic relationship with them.
Ladies and gentlemen, Karley Morgan, problem solver.
Right.
Whatever the case is, the city of
but they did
Idaho
open
Falls,
again.
which I thought was a solid move, city of Idaho Falls, they made a post that was this long. What is that, 10 paragraphs?
Okay.
Almost half of it was saying, You Pick Red Barn is a fine institution and we'd love to see them continue to operate.
Right. I mean, they are the only pumpkin patch we have in Idaho Falls.
So the city of Idaho Falls said, here are the requirements that were not met.
Right.
You Pick Red Barn is not in compliance. Rules and laws exist for a thing. I think there was one gun-toting, gun-shooting, rootin'-tootin'
Cowboy?
Yosemite Sam in the comments going, this is the kind of shit that imposes on our freedoms. No, sir. This actually gives us more freedom, you see.
Well, yeah, especially because our main one is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And if we're getting food poisoning, that is being taken from us, my buddy.
It's bad. This ain't the Wild West. We can't do whatever we want. There's no more hang-ins at high noon, buddy. Now, there's one more issue that commenters brought up. And what's concerning to me is You Pick Red Barn has addressed a bunch of the comments, but not these.
Right.
And this is what the commenters are saying, not us. I'm talking about the sick kittens.
Right.
Apparently, You Pick Red Barn has an opportunity for you to adopt a kitten while you're there. Did you see that when we went? Because I didn't see that.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, now we didn't get too close to it because I had Rango with me and he's a jerk.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, you didn't want him to
He likes to
chew
bark.
on a kitty.
He's great with other pets, but he likes to bark at them and get really excited and loud, and
Yes.
it gets a little embarrassing.
Are you an animal? Because I'm an animal too.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
It's kind of like when babies see other babies and they start like smiling and laughing, but it's much more annoying.
But the
yeah.
question mark in the comments was, and look, this isn't us. I gave my opinion already. You got it. Now I'm just reporting the comments. They made it sound like a puppy mill. What's the kitty equivalent of a puppy mill?
I mean, I guess a
kitten
kitten
mill?
mill, yeah. Now that in mind, okay, if they are having batches of kittens every single year, that's okay. They are not a big enough property to need that many barn cats, and realistically, they should be spaying and neutering their pets.
Right.
They're
Bob
other
Barker
cats.
wasn't on Price is Right for 40 frickin' years going
Right.
spay and neuter your pets at the end of every episode
Yes.
for you to not.
Even barn cats should be spayed and neutered. You don't need to be having tons and tons and tons of feral kitten colonies in your barn.
Yeah.
You don't.
And the thing is, we're only speculating.
Right.
But we can only speculate because You Pick Red Barn hasn't addressed it. Everybody hijacked your post, and that's all they're talking about now.
Right. Well, and apparently they were like dirty deleting a bunch of the comments and stuff like that too.
Sure. Yeah.
Which really bothers me. And when I did go there, the kittens were in a cage. Honestly, it reminded me a lot of a ferret cage I had for my ferrets when I was a kid. So it's a really big cage, but like it's cold. It's October in Idaho, and it looked like they maybe had a couple of blankets, but realistically, so kittens can't regulate their body temperature. They're like human babies in that way. They need to be kept warm or else they will get sick and potentially die. So I hope that they also had in some kind of heating blanket, because realistically, if their body is already cold, when they get into a blanket, it's not going to work. The whole point of blankets is to insulate, not to create heat.
So we don't know what the truth is. We can only speculate. But You Pick Red Barn, I think your choices are, we're a barn and we thought it would be cute to have barn cats, and we probably should rethink that.
Right.
Or reassure the public that they are indeed getting regular veterinary care.
And if they are, you should have paperwork. There is absolutely no reason you couldn't get those medical records from your veterinarian. If you can't, you're lying. Period. The end.
Right. Or just stop it.
Right.
Or I think finally, reassure us that it isn't a kitten mill. You're not making new ones. You're actually part of an adoption program through one of the reputable shelters here in town.
Or something.
Do you think that would satisfy it?
Sure. Absolutely.
Don't spread more cats.
Well, and especially where there are
Don't
so many
create
pets
more
in
life
shelters
that you can't take care of.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
There are so many pets in shelters, and there are so many programs to make sure that doesn't happen. You can get vouchers all the time that make it so affordable to spay and neuter, And if you don't know that, now you do. Contact your humane society. Contact your shelters. If you can't afford to spay or neuter your pet, they can help you. They don't want the problem either. They're sick of having to deal with all of these poor pets that are abandoned because of irresponsible humans.
Thank you, Bobette Barker.
Thank you.
Another anti-animal abuse PSA, don't beat dead horses.
Yeah.
But no, I think we covered it.
Right.
And Karley, that was very well said.
Yeah.
We're moving on to Ammon Icy Inferno. The Christmas tree bonfire and fireworks show is back.
Which I had so much fun last time we went, so I'm really looking forward to it this year.
Just when you thought the holidays were over.
Right?
Right? It really is a fun winter. And this isn't fun. This isn't even a Mikey pissed off because he's got to be outside in the cold with other people pretending they're having fun in the cold. This is genuinely fun for me.
Yeah, well, especially because you're only cold for a little bit.
And
you're only cold till the fire starts.
Yeah. In fact, last year was our first IFAF live shot period.
Yeah, that's true.
I think we did it on Facebook. Yeah.
We did. That's true.
We made some jokes and Anyway, Ammon Icy Inferno is back Saturday, January 18th. Vendors start at 6, bonfire 6:30. Fireworks will go while the bonfire is burning.
Nice.
That's cool. Music, food, prizes. You can be part of the part of the fire by dropping your tree off between now and January 18th at McCowan Park, the southwest corner. Can't miss the big pile of trees.
Right.
So excited for that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think my one piece of advice is wear warm shoes, because the fire will warm up all the rest of you. Yeah. But I feel like your toes and feetsies, that's one of the harder things to warm up. So,
Stay warm, kids.
Yeah, maybe take some hot cocoa with you and a couple of camp chairs.
And if you don't, there's plenty of food vendors there. What did we get last year? Was it one of those donuts?
Oh, yeah, I think it was.
It's great.
Yeah, some of those sugared mousse donuts. Was that what that
may have been?
It was really, whatever we got, it was delicious.
I want to leave you with one thing that I saw. You may have seen it too. We all look at the same internet, but I thought, especially in this season of gift cards and gift giving, that this is a hack, I would say, mainly for the ladies, but dudes, I bet you could pull it off too.
Oh, yeah?
I'll just read the post verbatim. It was an answer to the question, what's something you do that you'd never tell your significant other or your spouse about?
Oh, really? Okay.
And one gal replied, when I'm at the checkout in Target or Walmart, I sometimes buy gift cards to restaurants that I love. And then when I want to go out to eat and hubby says we need to save some money, I'm like, wait a second.
Oh.
I think I have a gift card.
Okay, that is so genius.
Isn't it?
That's so smart.
It's brilliantly diabolical and at the same time, kind of cute.
Yeah. Well, and what a good way to kind of tip the scale in your favor.
Yes.
Because then if he feels like Mexican that night, but you feel like Italian, you could say, oh, well, honey, we could go to Los Albertos, but we've got an Olive Garden gift card. We really ought to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows what kind of gift cards you got this Christmas?
Right.
Office parties, neighbor gifts, a friend.
They can't prove it.
Right. Now, we're not telling you to lie to your significant other or anything.
Sure.
So anyway, you get it. Oh, and then she just ends with, and then, wow, there it is. Off to Texas Roadhouse we go.
Right.
Vroom, vroom.
Yeah. Yeah. Which was one of the only places that was still pretty packed on Christmas Eve, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was funny.
Just a little, is it a white lie hack? What is this exactly?
It's a white lie.
Yeah, it's
fine.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end, you get Texas Roadhouse rolls, and I think those make everybody happy.
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's our show. Happy New Year. See you tomorrow night, New Year's Eve, for the Mike and Karley Rocket New Year's Eve extravaganza.
I mean, I'd call it more of a New Year's pregame.
Yeah.
You know, you get drunk. You do, you take your couple of shots. We'll stay here. We'll entertain you. We'll be your jesters, your clowns for the king.
We'll have some pickle Tina.
Yes.
Pickle
Teen. Yeah.
Okay, from Pie Hole.
Yeah.
Give that a try tomorrow night on IFAF Live, 9 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. See you there. Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Toodaloo, my dudes.